Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Bahrain recall their ambassadors from Damascus, condemning the bloody crackdown on pro-democracy protesters in Syria. Dubai says it will repay $4 billion of debt maturing later this month in full. And the Ministry of Economy continues to make price check inspections across the country during Ramadan. Hello and welcome to Emirates News. I'm Greg Fairley. Kuwait and Bahrain have recalled their ambassadors from Damascus and announced a GCC meeting on Syria. This comes one day after Saudi Arabia took a similar measure and strongly condemned the bloody crackdown on pro-democracy protesters there. The regional and international pressure on the Syrian regime is growing as government troops intensify their attacks on protesters. At least 80 people were killed yesterday and more than 300 people in the past week alone. The Dubai Government Media Office has just announced the Investment Corporation of Dubai will repay in full a $4 billion loan that's due on the 21st of August. It's a 3-year tranche of a $6 billion conventional and Islamic loan facility signed 3 years ago. The maturing obligation will be repaid from internal sources, mainly cash dividends received from the corporation's operating subsidiaries. The Executive Director and CEO of Investment Corporation of Dubai, Mohammed Al-Shibani, said that today's announcement demonstrates that as part of the government of Dubai, ICD is committed and able to meet its debt obligations. This substantial repayment is the result of our strong portfolio of diverse and successful companies across Dubai, as well as the underlying strength of our economy. He went on to say that Dubai is witnessing a recovery and remains a stable financial centre. The Emirate continues to be an attractive destination for business, tourism and trade and has proven its resilience in recent times. The 3-year tranche to be settled this month includes $2.5 billion of conventional financing and $1.5 billion of Islamic financing. The remaining 5-year tranche of $2 billion matures in August 2013. ICD's portfolio of companies includes investments in Emirates Group, Enoch, Dubai Islamic Bank and several others. We're now 1 week into the holy month of Ramadan and the Consumer Protection Team at the Ministry of Economy continues to make price check inspections around the UAE. Amal Al-Jabri reports.
The message to retailers is loud and clear. Make sure the prices of goods are displayed clearly across the supermarket or face the penalties. The Ministry of Economy is taking any complaints on overpricing very seriously, according to the requirements of the Consumer Protection Department.
My round today in the United Cup in Al Barsha area, it is very important for me because it is for my planning to Ramadan season.
Dr. Naimi and his team from the Consumer Protection Department at the Ministry of Economy have been making daily inspections during Ramadan to monitor the prices of essential goods. Here they are inspecting a Union Co-op store, checking prices of items on display, including rice, meat and popular drinks. They also checked out the Ramadan basket, which many outlets have started selling. It's packed with essential food items for Ramadan at a reduced price, which would also make an impact on the overall prices.
Today when I rounded in the United Cup here, I found all the items available and all the price also reduced. A lot of items have over.
About 300 outlets across the country have already signed an agreement with the ministry to freeze the prices of essential foods until the end of this year, and the ministry is ensuring that the agreement is being implemented. Dr. Naimi added that with the UAE being a free market economy, the government cannot fix the prices of each and every item. But after checking out the prices today, he was pleased with what he saw.
Alhamdulillah, I am happy with my team to round in Al Barsha Cup, inshallah, and I hope to continue my round on all United Arab market, inshallah.
Dr. Naimi has completed his price checking rounds here at Union Co-op in Al Barsha, and he is satisfied with the Ramadan price reductions, and he continues to make more rounds across the UAE, all for the purpose of protecting the consumer. Amal Al-Jabri, Emirates News.
People who received a 6-month labour ban for breaking their employment contracts early are getting a break. The ban will be lifted without a fee to bring their conditions in line with those who've already served their contracts out in full. This is provided they are at least high school educated and have been offered a minimum salary that is mentioned in the new contract. The minimum set by the Ministry of Labour are 5,000 dirhams per month for high school graduates, 7,000 dirhams for college diploma holders and 12,000 dirhams for employees with bachelor's degrees. Following yesterday's frantic telephone conference calls between Europe's central bankers concerning the debt crisis there, Eurozone stock markets gave up early gains today. The ECB indicated that it would start buying the bonds of Eurozone governments, namely in Italy and Spain. European governments will increase the size of the EU's emergency rescue fund if needed and are determined to follow through on a plan to contain a debt crisis. The French finance minister said that all governments need time to reduce borrowing built up during the global financial downturn. The Eurozone's €440 billion safety fund would be used as needed and increased if required, he said. Gold has hit a record level today, with dealers looking for a safe haven as global stocks fall. The price of the precious metal reached $1,704.30 an ounce in Hong Kong trades earlier, the first time it has gone so high, amid concern that the global economy is slowing. Gold prices have risen 20% so far this year. Traders say that people are just taking their money out of other markets, especially from the dollar and euro, and investing in gold and the Japanese yen. UAE markets ended mixed today. The DFM edged lower, while in Abu Dhabi, the ADX ended up 0.25%. Let's take a look now at Monday's numbers in more detail. Emirates Airlines said today that the European Union's planned carbon tax may cost it as much as 1 billion dirhams over 10 years. It's joined other airlines in objecting to the environmental levy. Meanwhile, Dubai's flagship carrier has released its first comprehensive environmental report, a study that revealed the airline's carbon dioxide emissions efficiency was 26% better than the global airline average. Covering the 2010-2011 fiscal year, the audited report analysed environmental performance data from a range of group activities, including airline operations, Donata's cargo and ground handling businesses, and a wide range of commercial activities on the ground. Fly Dubai has announced its 44th destination, and it will be good news for the growing Indian expatriate population here in the UAE. Flights to India's 7th largest city, Ahmedabad, will operate weekly on Saturdays from the 27th of this month. It will become the 3rd Indian city on Fly Dubai's expanding network. The Boeing 737-800 aircraft will be used on the route, which has a seat capacity of 189 passengers. Fly Dubai received its 18th aircraft last week. This was the latest in an investment of $80 million for the order of 50 placed by Fly Dubai at the 2008 Farnborough Air Show. Let's go to break now, but stay with us. Still to come. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque Centre receives 100,000 fasting Muslims. And also coming up, a baby humpback whale is back in deep water after beaching itself in Australia. Those stories after this break here on Emirates News. Welcome back to Emirates News. Tonight's number in the news is 100,000. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque Centre in Abu Dhabi has received approximately 100,000 fasting Muslims since the beginning of the holy month of Ramadan at tents located at the mosque grounds. Each day, the centre serves between 16 and 20,000 iftar meals in 14 air-conditioned tents. 300 volunteers serve meals to the gathering. A baby humpback whale has been safely taken back out to sea, almost 12 hours after it beached itself on Australia's east coast. Lifeguards and staff from SeaWorld on the Gold Coast spotted the calf in the early morning, but they couldn't find its mother. With the help of a tractor and 2 jet skis, volunteers dragged the whale back into the ocean at daybreak. The baby humpback was released into the surf and swam freely into the deep. Well, time now to see what tomorrow's weather holds in store for us. And here's another look at tonight's main stories. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Bahrain recall their ambassadors from Damascus, condemning the bloody crackdown on pro-democracy protesters in Syria. Dubai says it will repay $4 billion of debt maturing later this month in full. And the Ministry of Economy continues to make price check inspections across the country during Ramadan. And on that, we end tonight's programme. If you miss an episode of Emirates News, you can watch it online at dmi.ae/Dubai1. If you have any comments or suggestions or feedback, email us at emiratesnews@dubai1.ae. You can also join in the conversation on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Emirates_News. From all of us on the Emirates News team, have a good evening and we'll see you tomorrow.